Hey everybody, this is the Sliders review. Okay, so I need to make a huge correction because I completely forgot about this because there's been so many screen killers and stuff. So the whole Billy Loomis mother thing and Mrs. Langsbury, that came from Scream 2. And she had a young accomplice that was like in his 20s. Wes does fit that profile, but Mickey from Scream 2 didn't want to make his own movie. He just wanted to get caught and go through the trial. It was actually in Scream 3 and Scream 5 where they wanted to make their own movie, and also Scream 4. Well, Scream 4, they just wanted to broadcast it live and everything like that. So, yeah, the whole mother and the young accomplice, that's Scream 2. The whole wanted to film it live because he wanted to film something live. That's Scream 4. And the whole make his own movie, that's 3 and 5. I completely forgot about that. So if you hear me in the video saying that it comes directly only from Scream 2, just know that I meant like this. And I'm here today to talk to you about how Roberto ripped off Scream 2 with the Bloody Rose reveal in Pretty Little Liars Summer School. I cannot shake this for nothing, and how furious I am that he blatantly ripped off the reveal of the killer from Scream 2. And Scream 2 is one of my all-time favorite slasher movies. Scream is my favorite slasher franchise. And throughout the entirety of Original Sins and Summer School, they've been doing homages to classic horror movies. And an homage is fine, whatever. But an homage is one thing, and a ripoff is just completely other. See, it was a whole year and a half between the production of season 1 and season 2, and the writer's strike held it up. And that entire time, you mean to tell me you couldn't think of a better killer reveal than the reasons as to why you did it? I don't care if, how was that guy's Chip? I don't care if Chip's mom is like the killer. That's fine. And revenge, of course, is the obvious thing. But you could have done it so much better. But the whole West reveal was just so bizarre, and him wanting to make his own scary movie because he's obsessed with scary movies, and he met the deranged mother of somebody that was killed in the last season, is entirely ripped from Scream 2. It's Mickey and Mrs. Loomis. Billy Loomis died, and his mother wanted revenge on Sydney. Mickey was just a crazy obsessed boy who guy who loved scary movies, and those two met online and they plotted their revenge for her. It is the exact same thing, and it is so unoriginal. You could have had an homage to Scream 2, but you didn't have to rip that off piece by piece. Now, to be fair, the entirety of season 2 of Pretty Little Liars Summer School is completely original, except for the killer reveal. And so it's kind of like, okay, why couldn't you keep to what you created in season 2 with the killer reveal and have it make sense for all those tests and everything else you went through and all those killings early on in the season? Because her wanting revenge on Imogen and Tabby for, accusing her son of assault, which he did, and got Imogen knocked up. And so she's all like, oh, my son would never do that, and blah, blah, blah. So she wanted revenge and all this other stuff. Then what was the point in all those other deaths, really, in the first couple of episodes? What was the point in putting the Pretty Little Liars through all these series of, as Roberto put it, apocalyptic test and everything? Seriously, who uses terms like that? Oh, it's going to test you on an apocalyptic level. And let's not forget about Spooky Spaghetti and everything, the website that Wes created and all this other bull crap. And so back when Scream came out, other movies, tried to do the whole teen slasher genre. But every teen slasher movie was original. The motive behind the killer was original. The plot was original. And I've watched plenty of teen slasher movies, and I own tons of them. And they are never the same as Scream. Now, Scream copies its own formula because it is its own franchise. Sometimes that gets annoying, sometimes it does not. But it's just frustrating that, like, you had a year and a half to come up with something. You just didn't put out a good product. Why copy one of the most famous slasher movies of all time with the killer reveal? A deranged mother who wants revenge, and a young man who's obsessed with movies and want to make his own movies and partners with the deranged mother. That has been done. It was done in Scream 2, and it was also done in Scream 6. But it was different in Scream 6, but still. Why copy that? An homage is one thing, but a blatant ripoff is lazy. That is the most laziest type of writing you can ever do. And it shows you are not creative and everything. Like, Roberto seriously is not creative and everything. A lot of his movies and TV show bomb. Go look at his resume. Riverdale lasted for a long time, but people made fun of it. And it got to a point where, like, even the people who liked it stopped watching it. Then he had the spin-off Kathy King, and that got canceled after one season. I think there was another spin-off, and it got canceled as well. Then he wrote the Carrie 2013 remake, and that did not do very well. He's also done some other stuff that has not done very well. So why do they keep hiring this man if he's not that creative? Like, one thing they tried to change with this season, this series from the original one, is they wanted more diversity. There's 5 girls, 4 of them are people of color. Yet the white girl is still front and center of the show. And still the people of color pander to her and literally do the best friend trope. It's still a white show with people of color who are supporting characters. That is not a diverse show because it will still revolve around other girls in the show, and one of them will probably be more predominant in everything. Like, Tabby is supposed to be the final girl of the season 2, yet it doesn't revolve around her. It mostly revolves around Imogen, the white girl, and all her problems, and everybody tries to comfort her. Then Imogen, the white girl, gets the final punch on the villain. You get that final punch, you are the final girl. And the killers also wanted to target her primarily and stuff. So once again, it is the Imogen show. And it has nothing to do with the actress. I love the actress to death. I watch a lot of stuff with her. It is the crappy writing. But in their minds, they think, hey, this is diverse and everything, because now we have a black final girl. But no, because she really wasn't the primary focus of the season. She was mostly just involved in a romance and stuff. All of the good, juicy, dramatic crap happened with Imogen, the white girl, and everything. And so when you have only 2 black writers on your show and they're only allowed to write 1 episode per season, making it a total of 4 episodes that a black person wrote in 2 seasons, that's not diverse. And back to the whole Scream thing. They could have made this original, but they did not. See, Bloody Rose, with the people that she killed early in this season, and all the tests she made the girls go through, none of that revolves around her wanting revenge on Tabby and Imogen solely. So why did she go after all those other people? What was the point of the whole cult thing? I guess that was like a West thing, that he wanted to make his horror movie, but he could have made it with the 5 girls and who's ever close with them. killing these random people just didn't make no sense in the entirety of the show. So when you watch this season and you see that these random people who have nothing to do with the show or plot, and they're not even main or recurring characters, they are just guest spots, and they die for whatever stupid reason, and then, like, you know, when you see the girls getting taunted by like the killer and chased around by the killer and going through these tests that are apocalyptic in nature, that's Roberto's genius writing, just like Spooky Spaghetti's his genius writing and everything. When you see them go through all of that, and then you get the killer reveal and the motive, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And you need to make it make sense. The killer reveals don't really revolve that well with the rest of what's been going on in the entirety of the season. It would have made more sense if she wanted revenge on those girls, thinking they lied about her son. Wouldn't it make more sense for her to target those two primarily, try to get her grandchild and everything, trying to get like custody rights of the grandchild, trying to be all like, no, you consented to that, now give me my grandchild, and blah 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 and stuff like that? Wouldn't she go after the two men who have the child and everything? Like, it just doesn't make no sense. And why didn't she go after the actual person who killed her son? Like, she can't go after Archie because they thought he was dead. Why not go after Archie's mother? She's still alive and everything. Like, you know, and it's just one of these things that just don't make sense. And the whole going after Dr. Sullivan and ruining her character don't make no sense. But back to being original. If they would have just had something that revolved around Tabby and Imogen and that baby or something like that, that would have been a whole lot more original than, oh, I want revenge for my son, and oh, I want to make a scary movie. During that wave of teen slasher movies, every single movie and the motive was different and original. I Know What You Did Last Summer. A guy get hit by a car, so he wants revenge a year later on the kids that ran him over and didn't try to save him. Valentine, a young boy who's in middle or high school, he tries to like dance with all these girls he liked. They all say no. One embarrasses him and he gets beat up. So 20-30 years later, he gets revenge on every single last one of them in a Valentine motif type thing. Black roses, Valentine cards that are disturbing, chocolates with maggots in them. Original. Urban legend. Somebody boyfriend dies in an urban legend prank. So years later, they go after the girl and they kill in the urban legend type of way. Cherry Falls. The killer is a cross-dresser who goes after virgins because he is the result of birth through an assault when his mom was assaulted by this one guy, and he just kills virgins. And he also goes after his half sister. Sorority Row, a terrible movie, but still original. You have a bunch of sorority girls. They pull a prank on one. She dies. The guy who killed her, he's panicking and everything, and they had a helping hand in it. So they take a vow to never tell nobody. Years later, next thing you know, somebody's trying to kill them and everything. And like, you know, whatchamacallem, they think the girl's alive, they think it's her sister, but no, it turns out to be the boyfriend of one of the girls who was the accomplice, and he's just trying to cover it all up so his girlfriend doesn't get in trouble. Urban legend 2. There is a professor, and he goes on a killing spree because he's stuck at a dead-end job. He wants to make a movie, but getting to the movie Hollywood business is very tough. And so in order to get in there, these judges are gonna pick like a movie student, a film student, and their winning movie is gonna get like a 3-picture deal. He sees this as his out and everything. So with the winning movie, he kills the guy who made it, and then he kills everybody who worked on it and stuff. and he's going to pass it off as his own. What makes the plot more interesting is that when he was in film school, his movie got rejected. He can't go after the judge because he is now dead, and the daughter of the judge is one of his students who he also goes after and stuff. It fits the plot and motivation and everything like that so much better than Pretty Little Liars Summer School did. Or like Prom Night. Like, I saw the remake where it's just some guy who's obsessed with this teenage girl, and like, he stalks her, like, and stuff like that. Halloween is just some guy from a mental institution who just, like, kills people with no motive and stuff. Friday the 13th, like, a mother who just, like, goes on like a killing spree because, like, her son died because of mistake, because these people wasn't paying attention. Or the other, like, Friday the 13th movies where, like, this dude wants revenge because, like, his mom died and everything. When a Stranger Calls, it's just some man who, like, stalks babysitters and kills their kids. Seriously, like, there are so many, like, original movie killers and stuff, but yet he's all like, oh, let me do the Scream 2 thing. Heck, what about, like, Totally Killer? It's like a movie that's inspired by Back to the Future. And that's a huge homage right there, to where a girl goes back in time to prevent, like, her mom's, like, killer and everything. So she has to prevent the killings of 3 other girls from, like, over 30, 40, 50 years ago, something like that. I mean, that's beyond original. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, none of those movies ever tried to copy Scream to where the motive was exactly the same. It has always been different with all these knockoff slasher movies. They're knockoffs, but they've never tried to copy Scream motive for the killer motivation and stuff like that. But now, all of a sudden, here comes Roberto. Here comes the horror movie homages, and he blatantly rips off Scream's 2 plot reveal of the killer, when everything else that happens in the show has nothing to do with that. It will literally be like if you made a, say, Scream movie, right? And then all the killings in the movie are like that in the Saw movie. And the motivation is because you have a person with cancer and they want to punish people who do not appreciate their life. Like, do you see what I'm saying here? Do you see why this is lazy writing for Pretty Little Liars to rip off Scream 2? And it's more than just me hating on the show because of the lazy writing and stuff. It is a blatant ripoff and is unoriginal, and it is just pure laziness. And that frustrates me. They even could have got Chip's mother to round up all of Chip's friends, and they could have been like this cult of trying to, like, get at Tabby and Imogen. That would have been original. And they could have been like, oh, he was our friend and we think he's innocent and blah, 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 blah. And, and because of you, he's now dead and blah, blah, blah. See, it could have been something like that. Not, oh, the plot of Scream 2. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say, like, Roberto is one of the worst showrunners ever. It's like he came up with an actual original concept throughout the entirety of season 2, but then when it got to the killer reveal, he thought, hey, I'm having a genius moment. Let me rip off the motivation of this one killer, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, that's from Scream 2. How much are you a genius? Like, no, it's like he got cold feet and didn't know what to do, and it's all like, okay, let's just rip this movie off. Like, it happened over 30 years ago. People probably didn't even see it. And stuff, or it's all like, oh, because it's so great, they're gonna think I'm great and everything because it's homage and everything. Just like the whole Spooky Spaghetti, it is a blatant ripoff of this other website that has a similar name and everything. So it's like the entirety of season 2 is just homage after homage after homage after homage and everything. Because he can't be creative enough to write with his staff of writers. And they're like, hey, you like that? Let's just put that in our show. Let's chop all this stuff up, blend it together and glue it and make a show. The man can't cook. He can't season his food. He can't even microwave popcorn without burning it. That is how bad of a showrunner he is. Heck, even like the killer reveal isn't the only Scream ripoff. Like, Tabby literally made a movie based on the events of what happened in season 1 with the killings. That's a rip from like the entire Scream franchise when it comes to the stab movies. A movie within a movie. And I'm just kind of like, dude, be original. Be original and everything. Like, stop copying from other movies and crap. And Bloody Rose and The Accomplice are going to go down in history as the worst slashers in history, next to that one from I Know What You Did Last Summer, the television series on Amazon Prime. Because Bloody Rose was not that tough, and she gets taken out by a single kick by Farron, who they tried to make Wonder Woman into this show. Like, a single kick took her out. Oh, she's so menacing. Oh, look, a kick took her out. And then you have Wes, who literally got stabbed in the chest with a pitchfork and stood there and took it. He had plenty of time to get out the way as Tabby came running and screaming at him. And he's all like, ooh, I'm just going to wait right here. And then end up getting stabbed. And I'm just kind of like, come on now. Come on now. You can do better than that. But Roberto can't. Because he's Roberto. And so, like, I've been reading some people comments on other videos, and I'm seeing people talking about how the writer's strike is the reason why the writing of this season is so bad. Don't you dare do that. All right, that ain't got nothing to do with it. The actor strike held up production and filming, but this show was written way before the writer's strike happened. See, the writer's strike happened in May of 2023. This show didn't start filming its second season until April 2003. So it was written a whole year before that. And you agree if you're talking about, oh, well, the writer's strike held this up and that's why the writing is the way it is. Nah, see, you know it's mediocre. You know it's bad. Don't you use that excuse. Don't you dare use that excuse. I am telling you people, Roberto cannot cook. And what's worse, as I said this before, you all are given a mediocre show, mediocre slasher, mediocre teen drama. There are so many other better ones out there and stuff. See, I've been saying, y'all have been fed crappy TV shows for over 5 to 10 years now. You don't know what good TV shows and good movies and good writing is about. And I'm wondering just how long is it going to take Hollywood to wake up to this man and stop giving him projects, stop making him a showrunner? Like, seriously, like, Riverdale will go down in history as being one of the most bonkers show on the face of the planet that started off good, became mediocre in the middle, and just became an atrocity towards the end. It's so bad that people who starred in the show make fun of it today because they're no longer under contract. It's so bad, people literally asked to be killed off the show. It's so bad that that one dude who played Doomsday in Smallville, I think he said something about if he had to do another season of their show, he would jump out a window. This is legit actors who don't want to be on TV shows no more because everybody's making fun of it. And that's going to hurt your career down the line. But does he care? No. Then the Riverdale spinoff did not do well. It got canceled after one season. And the Sabrina show should have lasted a whole lot longer than it did, but it was so convoluted and with so many plot holes, it didn't even make sense. She's not even a witch on the show. She's a half human and half devil person. Like her dad is literally the devil. She's not even a witch. I don't know why they keep calling her that. I don't understand how she had witch powers and stuff, because he changed the continuity from his own comic and from the original comic itself. How do you do that crap? I mean, heck, after a while, it took people to realize, you know what, Marlene I. King, we're done with you and everything. Your movies don't do particularly well. You had gold on your hand in the form of Pretty Little Liars, and you messed that up during halfway into the series and then towards the end. All those Pretty Little Liars spinoff all bombed after just one season, to where Hollywood's all thanks for Pretty Little Liars, but we're done and everything. And she hasn't worked since. And most likely she probably won't, because Hollywood just won't hire her. And she probably makes a buttload of residuals from Pretty Little Liars, depending now on how that contract is. Because, when it's on TV, from TV to streaming is completely different. So who knows how many residuals she get. But I do know people still get residuals from that show because of the podcast that two of the actors do. But one of them just now started getting residuals after all this time. I'm telling you, those streaming networks have screwed actors so much. This is why they went on strike and everything. So it's like if Hollywood was about to say adios to Marlene I. King, when the heck are they going to do it to Roberto? He is messing up shows I actually want to like, but I can't like them because he screws them up, and it pisses me off. Because I really wanted to like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I really wanted to like the new Pretty Little Liars reboot. And I was really curious about that, Riverdale show. Because, I ain't seen Archie since I was a kid. Like the cartoon or the comic and crap. But it's like every time this man gets a hold of a project, he ruins it somehow. This man is not creative. And I don't understand this. I don't understand his obsession and Marlene I. King's obsession with adults doing teenagers. I really don't. I really, really don't. Even in the first season, he teased that with Wes and Tabby and everything. And then he was going to have Ezra and Arya adopt that baby until there was so much backlash, they had to rewrite that out for the second season. They thought they quietly swept that under the rug, but people are like, yo, what's up with that? Even in interviews, people ask them, yo, what's up with that? And they had to answer and everything. But of course, they didn't tell the truth. Of course, they're not going to do that. They had to skirt around it and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.